Welcome to the Jasmine and Jay Show. I'm Jasmine, y'all. 24 years young, a blend of Black and Hispanic vibes, rocking it as a primary school teacher in NYC. Married to the one and only Thomas, who's slaying it in finance at 26. And yo, make some noise for Jay. Hey, I'm Jay. 24, proud of my African descent, saving lives as a registered nurse in the city that never sleeps. My partner in crime, Bobby, 27, bringing the heat in the finance world. We're about to drop all the gems on love, relationships, finance, and everything else you could dream of. Get ready for those weekly vibes that'll have you coming back for more. So, whether you're chilling or on the go, we look forward to you tuning in every week for all things love, relationship, finance, and everything in between. Happy Wednesday, people. It's your girls, Jasmine and Jay, and we're back for another episode of the Jasmine and Jay Show. Welcome to episode 3 of our brand new season called Communication Issues. We are so glad you're here, whether it's your faithful self tuning in or your first time joining us. Grab your tea, grab your journal, and settle in because we're going there today. This episode is called The Silent Killer When You Shut Down Instead of Speaking Up. And family, this one's going to hit home. Emotional withdrawal is a real thing in relationships, and it's doing more damage than we think. So Jay, has there been a moment when you emotionally shut down in your marriage? What caused it? And how did you come back from that space? Oh, definitely, Jasmine. There was a time when stress from work and personal issues just built up. I found myself withdrawing instead of opening up to Bobby. It felt like the safest route in the moment, but it ended up creating more distance between us. Coming back from that required some deep conversations, honesty, and a willingness to be vulnerable again. We had to prioritize reconnecting emotionally through intentional time together and open dialogue about our feelings. And you know what I've learned? Silence isn't always peace. It's often pain with no voice. Jasmine, for you and Thomas, what have you learned about staying emotionally present even when things get tense? You're right, Jay. For us, it's been crucial to acknowledge when tension arises and intentionally choose not to disconnect. We found it helpful to have regular check-ins, even if just in passing, to make sure we're in tune with each other's emotional state. It's about reminding ourselves that we're in it together, making openness and honesty a priority, even when conversations are tough. Also, Jay, what's one way you protect emotional vulnerability in your relationship, especially when you're tempted to retreat? One key way has been creating dedicated, distraction-free time for just the two of us. We make sure to have regular spaces where we can talk openly. No screens, just us. This safe zone lets us express honestly without fear of judgment. It's about ensuring there's always a path back to vulnerability, even when the initial instinct is to withdraw. Jay, how would you describe emotional withdrawal, and what are some signs that a spouse might be shutting down? Also, is avoidance, short sentences, lack of eye contact, and low engagement all physical signs that your partner might be checking out? Emotional withdrawal is essentially when a partner begins retreating from the emotional connection of the relationship. They might stop sharing thoughts and feelings, pulling away into their own space emotionally. Signs can be subtle at first, but they create an emotional distance that's hard to ignore. Absolutely. And those signs can manifest in various ways, like avoidance. You'll notice they're less present in conversations or avoid certain topics entirely. Short, clip sentences instead of regular dialogue often indicate that they're not fully engaged. Lack of eye contact is another big indicator. It's as if they're physically there but mentally elsewhere, creating a disconnect in the relationship. And low engagement really hits the nail on the head, too. It's not just about the absence of conversation, but also the quality of interactions. They might seem distracted or uninterested, which can deepen the feeling of emotional distance. Exactly. These signs point to a partner pulling back, whether due to personal overwhelm or issues within the relationship. Addressing these signs with empathy and open dialogue is crucial to bringing the connection back. It's important to create a safe space where each person feels comfortable re-engaging emotionally. So, Jasmine, why do people do it? What's behind the shutdown? Is it fear of conflict, fatigue from not feeling heard, frustration from unresolved issues? Or is it a form of self-protection? Oh, Jay, it can definitely be a mix of all those factors. Fear of conflict is a big trigger. People might withdraw to avoid inevitable arguments or heightened emotions. It feels safer to stay silent than risk a blowout. When you're emotionally drained, it's challenging to muster up the energy to engage, especially if you've been trying to express yourself without feeling heard. Sometimes it just seems easier to retreat than continually struggle to communicate your needs. Exactly, and there's the weight of unresolved issues. For some, if past discussions haven't led to resolution, they might feel, why bother repeating this cycle? Withdrawal can seem like the path of least resistance when you're frustrated and feel like you're running in circles. And let's not forget self-protection, right? Some folks pull back emotionally as a way to guard against hurt or disappointment, creating a buffer to preserve themselves from more pain. Definitely, while it might feel protective in the short term, it suppresses the real intimacy needed to grow the relationship. Acknowledging what's behind the withdrawal and fostering an environment where both partners feel safe to express freely can help in bridging that emotional gap. It's about creating a nurturing space where both voices are valued and heard. Ecclesiastes 4:9. 10 reminds us that two are better than one. If one falls, the other can lift them up. But how can we lift each other if we're not speaking to each other? It's such a powerful reminder of the strength in partnership, but communication is at the core of being able to lift each other up. Without it, the very essence of that support system, being there for one another in times of need, gets eroded. Right, and when there's silence or withdrawal, it's like you've pulled the plug on that mutual support. You can't help what you don't know is needed. It becomes this void where assumptions and misunderstandings can thrive, rather than the understanding and empathy we truly need. Exactly. Maintaining that open line of communication is what allows for the kind of vulnerability that builds a true partnership. It fosters trust, where you can reach out for help without hesitation, knowing your partner is there to understand and support you. And it speaks volumes about trust, too. Trust to share your struggles and know they'll be met with empathy rather than judgment. It's necessary for nurturing the togetherness that allows both partners to genuinely lift each other through challenges. For sure. Remembering that you're on the same team facilitates the open communication that lets each partner be the support they need to be, keeping the bond strong and resilient, just like Ecclesiastes emphasizes. What does it do to a person when their partner checks out emotionally? And how do we come back from that? When a partner checks out emotionally, it can feel incredibly isolating for the other person. The silence or lack of emotional engagement can lead to feelings of loneliness, rejection, and sometimes self-doubt about one's role in the relationship. It's like carrying a burden without the support you once counted on. Absolutely. And to come back from that space, it's about rekindling open communication where each partner feels safe to voice their feelings and concerns. Acknowledging there's a disconnect is the first step, which requires honesty and vulnerability from both sides. Faith can be a powerful bridge in this process. Praying together can create a spiritual bond and a grounding force, inviting openness and healing into the relationship. It's like letting a divine presence guide the difficult conversations and finding strength together. For sure, engaging in devotional readings or Bible studies together can realign priorities and serve as a gentle reminder of your shared commitment. Ecclesiastes, for example, emphasizes the beauty of partnership, which helps support each other through thick and thin. And carving out intentional time for heart-to-heart conversations where active listening is prioritized can help rebuild the trust and intimacy that might have taken a hit. Setting aside this space shows commitment to understanding and valuing each other's perspectives once more. Exactly. Fostering an environment where both partners can reconnect emotionally means nurturing both the shared faith you hold and the communication that binds your individual and collective hearts together. It's about walking the path together with renewed dedication and love. Let's wrap up this episode with some key takeaways. During our conversation, we unpacked what emotional withdrawal really looks like in marriage. We talked about the root causes, fear, fatigue, and frustration. We highlighted the pain of feeling ignored and emotionally abandoned. Plus, we shared kingdom-minded tools for reconnecting through vulnerability, prayer, and intentional communication. If this episode blessed you, share it with your spouse, your group chat, or your married couple friends. Journal your thoughts or schedule that talk you've been avoiding. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a review and let us know how God is speaking to you through this season. Next week's episode is going to stir the pot just a little bit. It's called You Ain't My Mama, Communicating Boundaries Without Controlling Each Other. It's going to be a good one. Until then, keep your heart soft, your ears open, and your love rooted in Christ. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Jasmine and Jay Show. We really, really hope you enjoyed this episode. And don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment or question. We're all ears. See you next week for more vibes and good times. Keep shining bright.